Cheers, cheers, cheers. All right, so another little coffee talk here. And something I thought about is Instagram stories. Do we actually tell stories like intentfully? Like you're supposed to tell a story of like, I guess, the nature of how your day is going or your thought process. But do we do that intentfully is something that just came to mind. But on that theme, I woke up early, got my prayers in, did my little journaling. I got the R for Realness book, and I actually went to the park, did a nice little bike ride, and I caught some muscle ups and pull ups. Just keeping myself sharp, competitive season, you know? But that being said, let's go into my little journal of the day here. So, the little setup really is just calm. I sip the coffee, and just start kind of having my thoughts go into paper. I feel that your thoughts in the morning are the most purest. So before you get bombarded by the day-to-day dopamine hits. So check this out though. This is a strong one. I feel like this is a personal strong one. June 5th, 2025. Every time you feed your cravings, you weaken your calling. And if you did see the YouTube yesterday, it's like purpose versus poison. And I've learned your real power is in your comfort, is not in comfort, but being in control of your choices. And so when we have this tug of war of like left and right, side to side, it's like a fight between what they say is the flesh and your spirit. And if you just really, really listen and pay attention to this idea, this concept, really look at like where your choices go, where they lead you, or even where you spend your money, right? Money is kind of like a representation of a little past resume of yourself, a little transaction history. And it's kind of saying you spent money on this amount of food or this amount of entertainment, etc., etc., etc. How much are we feeding the flesh and not paying attention to the spirit? And it's kind of like the flesh, the earthly things, it craves things in overabundance, far beyond what you need. It wants food when you're not hungry. It wants unneeded attention. It wants maybe a certain validation from people that aren't even important or mean anything. It maybe even wants other people. And it shouldn't, when you should be loving. So like the spirit is the reverse. The spirit wants discipline. I think it wants the truth. I think it wants a connection to our faith, our heaven, our universe, our God, the one, the Almighty. And so I think that this battle going back and forth is, a constant war, the spiritual warfare that we are being spoken about. What can we do? We can fast. I think we can fast, not just food. Fasting, getting yourself away from the things that are pulling you out of alignment, things that are poisoning you. When you feel kind of like a certain gut wrenching feeling about something that you shouldn't do, fast, get away from that stuff. Try to set yourself up for success. I think that the fast is not glamorous, it's not aesthetics, it's not this woo-woo science. It's more of, I am doing this for a spiritual discipline. I'm doing this to get closer to the source. I'm doing this to get away from the things. Think of like the flesh and all these earthly things as like a swamp, like sticky mud. And when you're walking, there's like these ugly, muddy hands trying to slow you down or bring you down, grabbing you by your Achilles. Maybe that's why Achilles had that weakness in that movie, right? With Troy, Brad Pitt. So that being said, like, pay really close attention to these things. That's the thought process. And that's really all I wrote today. And just, I really think that every time we feed our cravings, we are weakening our ability, our calling. And you can't hear either, right? You can't hear. Sound is such a powerful element. Everybody talks about fire, earth, wind, water, but sound is like everywhere. And if you are not being the guardian of your treasure, intentfully, faithfully, you're gonna have some trouble. So it's, I speak these things because I'm human just like you. So I experience the same exact earthly body. So Let's just keep working together, and let's just keep having prayer and prayer. I'm putting that prayer and prayer. Sure, why not? I guess Frey is battle. Prayer, pray for battle. Whatever. Blessings. I hope you just enjoy your day. I'm gonna finish the coffee. This is Ethiopian blend once again.